Oh, hey, wow, you couldn't even wait a second, could you? Well, we're doing all right. This one I've just kind of like been telling myself, hey, check it after every single thing you do. And that's just kind of what we've been doing. We did get them to digivolve into Dracomon. They're so awesome. Look at their little horn thing. Don't touch their special scale, though. Apparently that's like a dragon trope, particularly of the Eastern Dragon variety. They have something called a Gekirine. Dracomon is a Digimon that is 100% dragon. There are Digimon like Dorumon, who is like Beast Dragon, and there might as well be a 50-50 split between the two. I love them so much for it, though. But Dracomon, no. Purebred, probably racist against other Digimon that aren't full dragon, but at least they got this cool horn thing. Anyway, they got something called a Gekirine. It's this scale where if you touch it, they become enraged, and while normally they're docile, they just go nuts and start destroying everything possible. They hold this into their next form as well, but then after that, they become more of a dragon man Digimon instead of a dragon. You know, they finally dropped their predilections, and then they got busy with a human, I guess? Or someone did, because yeah, at that point they lose their Gekirine, their sensitive, special, weird scale, and then they become a little nicer. Too bad when we get to that point, though, we gotta JOGRESS them, and then we're gonna lose track of it, but they will become more Greymon, and that's, you know, also like a Dragon Man, and that's pretty cool. Over on this side, we did get a Digivolution to happen. We have now properly Antidamon, and now we have MetalSeadramon as well. Another character that, thanks to Digimon Adventure, despite them being a data type, you think that they're just a bad guy. Yeah, sure, they're Seadramon without a haircut, but they're not gonna hurt you, you know? Look at their typing. They're data. And they can be JOGRESSed? Wait, they can be JOGRESSed. Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. That was a part of... I got so wrapped up in this thing, JOGRESSing, and all the problems and setbacks we've been having, I forgot that we were supposed to JOGRESS MetalSeadramon into something. This is the kind of crap that happens when plans change. None of this would be happening if only I had gotten Terriermon's egg, and we had gone all according to plan. So we got 2 Digimon to JOGRESS today, although since we have 1, I might as well wait until tomorrow to turn this one into MetalGovernmon. I'm sorry, I know. Yesterday we were going to JOGRESS it, but then today we were supposed to JOGRESS it, but now it's like, we could JOGRESS it and we need to JOGRESS it into Omegamon, but we do need to wait until Dracomon turns into Wingdramon. But, well, the longer we can go without turning them into MetalGovernmon, the longer we can go without them hitting that point where they start trying to die really quickly. We can space that out and make it a little more easy on us. Also, I just love Big Mamemon. Look at him. Can we just get a close-up on that? Hold on. There you go. That's about as close as this thing can get. Look at Big Mamemon. I want you to enjoy him because they're the best. Except for when they do that squeezy stress toy thing where his eyes get big. I don't really much care for that. Let me just go ahead and see their attack again. Okay, do we get to see them up? Okay, that's just punches. There we go. Even if I only got to see three little Mamemon, I'm happy. That's splendid. Yeah, let's keep him one more day, okay? We'll do it tomorrow, I promise. This time, if I don't do it, you have my express permission to be like, Kakujo, come on, you know? Come on. So anyway, what were we gonna do with this MetalSeadramon? Thank goodness I kept like a written list of my plans because a second Terriermon's egg threw me for a loop. Everything's been chaos. Ah, a perfect data. It has to be a perfect data. So that one should be easy enough to get. We've gotten plenty of them around here as it is. Perfect data. Hey, Big Mamemon, are you perfect or are you just a champion? I'm pretty sure you're perfect. Well, I mean, even if well, that's 42, so yeah, they're perfect, and they're data. We could just send over Big Mamemon, squish it together with our MetalSeadramon and see what we get. It's so easy because it's in English, and I don't have to have that split-second thought of translation. There we go. So now we're gonna send Big Mamemon over to the silver blue device. Hello, buddy. Yeah, now you got a friend, don't you? So now JOGRESS between this and Big Mamemon, and we're gonna see what they squish into. I mean, obviously it's gonna be perfect because it's Big Mamemon. You can't combine with that and not be perfect. So graceful. They're both like, ah! Ah! Oh, look at that. It's another happy snake. I'll grant you this one. This one looks a little angrier. Oh, okay. I mean, he smiled there. It's always right when I call them out for being angry or grumpy that they start smiling. I guess it's just a lesson, right? You got to give people a chance. So what's their type now? Data? They can no longer JOGRESS, but they are MetalSeadramon. Before we get further into this, because I know I will forget, they did just JOGRESS, so we can't fight them with anything, but I do want to see what their projectiles look like. If they're their ultimate 4, I would say 4. I don't know, they're data, and I still haven't mastered this, but I feel like 4 is usually good for them. Okay, so these are weak. There's the big one. Okay, so I've seen that before. I want to say that kind of belongs to Mastemon. Mastemon was the one that had projectiles like that before. Interesting. So, yeah, they're not such a bad guy. They're just
Oh, this is a happy snake.
And they have 56 DP, right? I wasn't paying attention. Yes, okay. So now that they're ultimate form, there is nowhere else for them to go. I mean, except for, you know, I guess they could get together with Venom Vamdemon and do some sewing or woodworking. The only two hobbies I know off the top of my head. But then, yeah, Venom Vamdemon, dude, don't even get me started. I was watching Adventure last night. I rewatched the part where they actually do fight Vamdemon, and then I'm right at the point where he came back as Venom Vamdemon, and they're about to do some crazy fight stuff. Like, they made the dumbest cliffhangers in the first season of Adventure. They seriously finally reached their ultimate form. We got War Greymon, we got Metal Garurumon, they're ready to go. Credits. That's it. I don't know. It's weird because there are some episodes that I think are incredible, and there are some I'm just like, really? That's what? I might have these numbers wrong, but I think episode 34 is an awesome one. Episode 37 I think was really great, but especially in the way the one I just watched where they turn into their ultimate forms finally, there's just not enough build-up, and it's just so easy. They're just like, hey, what was the prophecy? Oh yeah, you know, you gotta shoot your loved ones with Angel's arrow light, and then they shoot Taichi and Yamato, and then all of a sudden everyone just evolves. The warp Shinka all over the place. And it's just, there's not enough struggle to it. Like, they reach this ultimate final form, and it's just like, pfft, there they are. There's Metal Garurumon and War Greymon, and then credits! But yeah, for every, like, episode that I'm very frustrated by, there's, well, actually, for every, like, 2 episodes I'm really frustrated by, there's one really nicely paced episode. And I know the way with shows are run, sometimes there's different directors, so I'm almost curious if I could find a list. I wonder if it's a director issue, like one of them just wasn't that great as the other ones, or if it was just the thing that happens with shows where they're like, hey, by this episode, make them turn into this, and they're like, oh, great, I have one episode to just do all this exposition, and then also, it's not quite like Dragon Ball Z where they needed to go through it and then do like Dragon Ball Z Kai and then cut out a bunch of stuff. They need to add in some things. But I mean, that first Adventure season is already like 54 episodes, so they would need like an extra 6 to really like, maybe only an extra 3 or 4 to like really flesh out some of the more pivotal moments in the series, but otherwise it's an alright show. Twitter! Digimon Twitter! They finally released the first picture of RagnaLordmon. You know RagnaLordmon. Wait, which one did we have RagnaLordmon in? This guy, RagnaLordmon, the one that when we actually attained them, they on like everywhere. You couldn't find any stock art, nothing. All there was a vague sketch that they were like, hey, this is kind of what he's gonna look like. So anyway, here's what he looks like, and I have some thoughts. Like, it's cool and all, and he does seem like really strong and insane, and I get it. I get why he's on fire, because RagnaLordmon was like a giant flaming dragon, but I feel like RagnaLordmon already was at like the peak of what a design can have before it feels busy, and RagnaLordmon just looks like a bit much. I know there are a lot of people that think it's cool, and sure, it's like, if you're just looking for like manpower, masculine fire, big sword, big shield, big pecs, armor, more fire! And that's cool and stuff, and I guess I kind of imply that in a disparaging way, but if that's your aesthetic, that's genuinely cool. But yeah, for me, I feel like if he could control his fire, which I'm sure he can, come on, he's RagnaLordmon. If he can turn off his fire, first, like for pictures, like if he sees someone taking a pic of him, maybe he could turn that fire off so it wouldn't feel like so overwhelming. But that's really my only critique, is all of his individual parts are great, but I think he's just overall a bit much. The sword is just like unwieldily large. Like, there's so many points on it, I feel like he's gonna hurt himself, you know? I merely worry for my Lord Ragnamon. I merely worry for him. But what do you think about the RagnaLordmon design? I've seen a lot of people that enjoy it, and usually my opinion goes against the grain. I'm not necessarily contrarian, but like, I guess I just have bad tastes or something. So, what do you think, though? Do you like it? Do you think it's a bit much? Do you think that Dracomon's pooping too much? Don't answer that. The answer is yes. It's always yes. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks to the patrons for supporting my channel, especially Cookieface and Shifter. And then finally tomorrow we're going to Digivolve Big Momimon. We're going to JOGRESS him into Metal Garurumon. If I can bear to part with him, that is. I'll see you then!